So I had quite a struggle trying to pull this engine out of the 2009 Subaru Outback Wagon. The biggest, or the most difficult part was getting these alignment pins, that one and that one on the other side, to pull out of the hole in the back of the block, which is here. So these holes have a little rust in them, not bad, and the pins don't look that bad, but I had to do a lot of prying and jiggling and prying to get those loose. And I actually ended up using this hole, which is a blank hole, there's no threads in it, it was used for nothing. I put this drift in there, and then I was able to use my really big screwdriver right here to pry against that, to pry against the engine block. And then it took probably a half an hour of just jiggling it. And it would move. At first it just started moving like 5 or 10 thousandths, and I actually checked it with a feeler gauge. I got 10 thousandths between it. And I just kept jiggling, and it finally came loose. And so here it is hanging up on my Bi-Pod engine lift. I don't know that I've seen anyone else do this on YouTube, but I've done this for years. I have two 4x4s, 10 feet long. They're joined at the top with hinges, and then there's a chain hanging from the center between the two hinges, and the chain fall is hanging from that. And so from the back side, I have a chain wrapped around the top to keep the two 4x4s from just tipping forward. And that chain, I've got it adjusted the length of it with a come along and a load binder, goes around the axle, the rear axle on my 86 Ford Ranger, which I will have to do some videos on at some point. That needs some work, but it's a really cool little truck. And so I'll tell you more about that in the future. It is a diesel Ranger, by the way. So finally got it. It was a struggle. Didn't come out nearly as quickly as I was expecting it to, as easily. Boy, these Subarus, they really are a struggle every step of the way. They don't cut you any slack. There's the other alignment pin on this side. And so if you find this interesting, I can do like a complete video on how I assembled it and how I use it. I have used it to pull a 5-liter V8 out of a 93 F-150 four-wheel drive truck. And it works just fine. I mean, two 4x4s can support a huge amount of weight. The only risky part, dangerous part, is that the feet might slide out from under it when there's weight on it. But in my barn, the dirt floor, it doesn't look soft, but it's got a lot of give. And so those are just pushing themselves right into the dirt. They're not going to slide right into the gravel. Same over here. If I kick it, it's not going to come out. I'm not going to test it. When I've done this out on blacktop, you need to tie the two legs together so they don't spread out if they slide. and you need to keep the angle on this, the tilt on this, very minimal. That's what I do. Or what you could do, if you don't have a way to anchor it, is to drill a hole in the bottom and put in a piece of rebar and have that stick out and drill into the ground, which might be a safe idea in here where the floor is dirt. I could have that drive into the ground 3 or 4 inches, and that would help to stabilize it. Right now, it might be a little sketchy. So I've got to get this thing off of here. So that's it for the moment.